what wells up deep within our breasts, what our lips hesitantly try to sound, now badly put, now happily well expressed, is in this moment's frenzy lost and drowned. So let's show some goodwill and a little competence. Let fantasy with all her choirs be heard. Emotion, passion, reason, and good sense, but not without a little nonsense. Mark my word. All aboard!
Step across the line. Come with us. It's time to get on the goddamn bus. My name is Dr. Buzz. I'm 42 years old. Can I create something insincere?
My name is Spirit Kevin. I'm 32 years old. Can I create something insincere?
My name is Brother Michael. I'm 34 years old. Can I create something insincere?
Thus all creation will appear within our narrow confines gathered here, proceeding by imagination's spell from heaven through the world and on to hell. What do we got here?
Tours of Memphis!
Say what?
Tours of Memphis!
If you gentlemen are ready. Yeah, you say you want to see the world? I'll show you the world. I'll take you uptown. I'll take you downtown. Take you all around town. Show you things make your eyes roll in their sockets. Turn that gold heart of yours into a gold heart. What do we got here?
Tours of Memphis. Stoppelis.
Could you repeat that?
Tours of Memphis. Stoppelis.
I know what you want. You want to see Graceland. Yeah, you want to see the pink Cadillac in the yard, the suitcase in the closet, the gold records on the wall. Yeah, well, look at it. Why, you thought it was Blue Hawaii or Viva Viva Las Vegas. It was more like Jailhouse Rock. It was more like Heartbreak Hotel. Because it was a king. He was floating up. He was floating, 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 floating. He was swelling up like a Goodyear blimp. And so, you ask me now, who is in the sepulcher of Rex? I'll tell you the truth. Yes, I will. I'll tell you the only truth. I'll tell you the gospel. I'll tell you the necessary truth. I'll tell you the absolute truth. I'll tell you time, space, you ask the world for the corpse. That's all. In the days when men could become animals and animals could become men, words were magic. A word carelessly spoken might follow you home. It could sit at your table. It could sleep in your bed. Whatever people wanted to have happen, could happen. All you had to do was say so.
We got eyes that see that cannot see. We got ears that hear that cannot hear. Yep. We got eyes that see that cannot see. We got ears that hear that cannot hear. Open them. Open them. Open them. Open up those eyes. Open up those ears. Brothers and sisters, we stand before you tonight with a little prediction. Thank you, Spirit Kevin. Thank you, Dr. Buzz. That's right, we come before you tonight with a little prediction. Tonight we're going to predict. I said we're going to predict exactly. I said exactly, we're going to tell you exactly the kind of person each and every one of you are. Quoi? Qu'est-ce que tu dis? Como? Perry Como? How is that possible, Brother Michael? Try I open up those peepers and look around. There's all different kinds of people here. Oh, I agree. I agree completely. Right there's a man, and right there's a woman, and there's a man, and there's a woman, way right there. All different kinds of people, and we're all gathered together right smack dab on the edge of this continent. So how are you going to tell me exactly? I said exactly the kind of person I am. Well, it's easy. It's no carny trick or ESP. As your faces are playing, it's easy to see. It's like a simple little mathematical equation. 3 plus 3, Spirit Kevin. 6. 7 times 9, sir. Those are hard, those 9s. That's all right. 2 plus 2. Oh, very good. 3 plus 3, 2 plus 2, 4. To be or not to be a simple mathematical equation. See, I open my eyes and I see sitting in this big house. I open up my eyes and I see 3 little subsets that make up this big old set. 3 little subsets. And I like to call this first little subset that I see the pro-me subset. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not like pro-me. It's not the kind of pro-me that says, oh my goodness, I forgot to take the brie out of the refrigerator. This pro-me subset's the kind of subset that they get up in the morning and you open up your eyes and you say, I'm alive. I give myself 5. I sing out pro-me, I am alive. I ride this earth, pro-me. Who's going to say they're pro-me? Who's going to raise their hand and say, yes, sir, I'm pro-me? Come on, let me see your hand. Who's going to say, okay, right there, 1. Thank you, brother. The rest of you must be the other 2 subsets. That's easy to see right here. Right? The second little subset that we have in this room right tonight is what you call, it's a macro, what is that, Dr.
An acronym.
An acronym. It's what you call a THE subset. The an acronym, a THE. And this little subset is what you call things happen every day. You THE people, you get up in the morning, you open up your eyes and go, wow, look over there, something's going on. Oh, look way up there, something's happening. Wow, look at this world, things are going on. THE. Who's going to say they're THE? Who's going to say, yes, sir, I'm THE? Let me see your hands. Come on, all right. Yeah, thank you, brother. You're all kinds of men. Thank you. Well, it's very apparent to me that each and every one of you, except that brother over there, each and every one of you fit in this last little subset. It makes sense that none of you wanted to raise your hands. This last little subset is what you call the us subset. You're kind of shy. And it's kind of like, I know we come from the Midwest. And I know you think, well, shy. Has your family tried them powdered milk? No, siree, this us subset's not that dumb. No, siree, babaroo. This us subset, you ride the earth. You hold your hands with your brothers and your sisters, and you go round and round on this earth, and you say, us. Look at this. We ride the world together. Us. That's what we see in this room tonight. We got the pro-me subset. We got the THE, the acronym subset. And we got the us subset. And you put them all together, what do we got? We got the pro-me-the-us. Prometheus. Prometheus. Brothers and sisters, this is a Greek word, and I'm going to conjugate it for you. Prometheus. It means the 4 thinkers, people who can look ahead. And like I said, I'm going to predict exactly the kind of people you are. And I look out here and I see you are all 4 thinkers. You are people with the ability to look ahead. Am I right to say yeah?
Yeah.
All right. You were smart enough to come down here. That showed me something already. See, brothers and sisters, a Prometheus. You are the 4 thinkers. And not only are you 4 thinkers, you are wily and crafty. And you see the mud, you see the water, and you say, I'm crafty. You put them together in what you call a sculpture, and you make a man sculpture, and you make a woman sculpture, and you keep doing that over and over and over, what you call a series or something like that. Keep making them pretty soon, you fill up your whole 4-thinking world with little Promethei. And everybody, all these Promethei, you 4 thinkers, you start dancing and singing and striking your hands and saying, Prome, T-H-E, us. And that sound goes way up to the tip-tip-top, way up to the tip-tip-top where Big Daddy Zeus lives. Big Daddy Zeus, he lives up in his ark. And it's not what you call the Noah's Ark. It's not what you call the Ark of the Covenant. Big Daddy Zeus, he lives up in the Patriarch. And Big Daddy Zeus looks down from his Patriarch, and he sees the Promethei having a big old time. And he looks down and he says, no. He looks down at the Promethei and he says, stop. He looks down at the Promethei and he says, this is not on my agenda. So he sends darkness down onto this earth. Pretty soon the little Promethei, they can't see the music. They don't know where to dance. They can't see to clap their hands. They can't hold hands with the us people. 4 thinkers. Ding, on goes the light. 4 thinkers, Prometheus. Ding, he goes up to the tip-tip-top and that big old Patriarch. And he sees the eternal fire that Zeus has got burning, and ding, I'm a 4th thinker. And he grabs that eternal fire, and he looks over yonder, and there's a big old slaughtered hog. Ding, I'm a 4th thinker. And he sees that hog, and from that hog he takes the baby back ribs. He takes the loins. He takes the pork shoulders. And he goes back down, and he gives the people a little Promethei the light. And their eyes are filled with blind ambition. And with that meat, and with that fire, he fills their bellies with barbecue. Come and get it!
Cody, wood is piled high upon Isaac's back. His chest thrown out proudly as they turn to go to the mountain. It is there it has been ordained that they should sacrifice. He turns and says, "Oh, Father, I have a question." "Oh, Daddy, Abraham. Oh, Father Abraham, I have a question. Tell me, Daddy, where's the meat? Where's the meat? Where's the meat?" Abraham says, "It will be provided."
Dance with the devil. Dance with the devil. Dance with the devil. Dance with the devil and we'll all fall in behind. Well, a dance with the devil wouldn't do us any harm. A dance with the devil wouldn't do us any harm. A dance with the devil wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all fall in behind. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. And we'll all fall in behind. Well, Beatrice, don't fret, I won't be long in here. Virgil is my guide, I got nothing to fear. Abandon all hope, O ye who enter here, and we'll all fall in behind. A ragtag band in the bottom of hell. Unity Long Beat a southern belle. When you dance with the devil, your soul you gotta sell, and we'll all fall in behind. I sold my soul and I lost my shirt. The Tijuana brass plays with El Herd, and Edie does a pony in a mini skirt, and we'll all fall in behind. I dance with the devil, wouldn't do us any harm. I dance with the devil, wouldn't do us any harm. I dance with the devil, wouldn't do us any harm, and we'll all fall in behind. Well, Dudley went fiddle in an old fruit jar. I beat the tubs, beat the boiling tar. John Lennon is strumming a Sears guitar, and we'll all fall in behind. I smell something burning and I feel kind of strange. Ooh, in my brand new home, in my kettle on the range. Ooh, when you dance with the devil, no returns, no exchange. And we'll all fall in behind. Everybody. I dance with the devil, wouldn't do us any harm. I dance with the devil, wouldn't do us any harm. I dance with the devil, wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all fall in behind. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. And we'll all fall in behind. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping, brother?
John Philip Sousa.
Tonight, aren't you? I don't care who started it, young man. You want to go to your case? Oh, I know what you all want. You want to hear a story. Yeah, you'd like a story, wouldn't you? Let's see, what would you like to hear? I know. How about Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass? No, you'd be awake all night. I know. Ooh, I know a scary one. How about The Who does an encore with brass? I know the perfect story. I know the story you're gonna love. It's called Curious George Goes to Hell. How would you like to hear that? Yeah. All right, I'll put you to bed first. What? Okay.
Curious George Goes to Hell by Spirit Kevin. Once upon a distant time,
Early in life's journey, George found himself lost in a five and dime. Now, how he got there, he wasn't quite clear. He remembered tearing loose from his mother's hairy hand as the escalator neared the bottom, and even though the sign said "Step Up," George remained planted, for he knew what curiosity did to the cat. But wasn't he a primate, and above all that? Down, down, down the escalator went, and 7 times his eardrums popped, till at last the dissension stopped, and cut in stone a sign that read, "Abandon all hope, ye who plan to enter the land of the dead, unless your height exceeds that of the clown's head." George stretched and stretched until slanted brow cleared red wig, and suddenly a shade appeared in a blue blazer, and he had a tiny poodle that appeared to be sheared by a 3rd grader with a tuna can lid. "Hello, hello, hello," he said. "My name is Scott. I'll be your guide today. You think this place is hell? I used to be a waiter at the telephone bar. This is my dog Trixie. Down, Trixie, bad dog, naughty dog. Go for a walk. Now, I want to tell you all the ride's a lot bumpy, so I'm going to hand out hot coffee. I also want to say stay in your seats. I can't stress that enough. That means you, George. That means you, George. Foreshadowing, foreshadowing. I'm a foreshade. I'm a foreshade." George held his cup and took a sip. The cart lunged forward and he burnt his lip, and through a dark tunnel raced the tram. George became hoarse of voice and numb of hand till the cart slowed in a room full of ghouls from another time. George prepared for the worst. He stiffened his spine. But before his single open baby blue sphere, mechanical figures from the past did appear. Not real, not live, robotic at best. And each was doing a single gesture to account for his unrest. Why, there was Hamlet, who was chewing on a rotten piece of Danish. There was a hall of vice presidents apologizing in Spanish. There was Nostradamus, Nicodemus, Rasputin. There was Faust. There was Ozzy Osbourne leading a choir of Deflatormouse. And over here, said Scott, pointing to a sign that said opening this May. "This is where the critics exhibit will go. We don't know who all's going in there. We'll know by Monday." Bad dog Trixie. Now George looked, and he saw that all the figures had a contented, waxy stare. George thought, now, if there's a hell, it certainly isn't here. But from behind the facade, real screams were leaking. "That's where the real hell is," said George. "And that's where I'm seeking." "Hey, back in the car, you naughty monkey! I knew this would happen! Sick him, Trixie, sick him! Oh, you've been eating grass again. Heimlich maneuver." George ran away. He ran away, and he ran toward the hideous cries. He turned a corner and ditched his guide. He saw a door that said, "Non Sagrada Familia," and he went inside. Thought George. This is more like it, as he gazed upon a room of real tortured spirits. Now I'll conduct an interview so I know how to avoid this fate when my number's due. And saying this, he spied a woman whose countenance betrayed a long-suffering state. And George noticed that she had 6 children affixed to 6 breasts. "Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me," said the simian. "Would you kindly tell me the hideous sin that brought you into this condition?" And she spoke. "Well, I wish I could tell you, but I've forgotten all that." "Well, my original sin, you know, that's old hat." And George said, but what about these children?" "Oh," she said, "those are my pride and my joys. On the right are the girls, and on the left are the boys." But I'm afraid these boys have stayed on long past their time, and these girls bite down without reason or rhyme. And she winced. And George said, "Now why don't you shout out if it hurts so bad? Why don't you shout?" And she said, "As Neptune's tears are invisible in his home, my cries fall on ears that only hear their own." And she winced again. And George said, "Oh, but look, the 2 on the bottom, they seem content." "Oh no," she said, "they hurt most of all, for they take no nourishment. I can feel their tiny lips, but they won't take their part, and there's nothing more painful to a mother's heart." "Well," George said, "it seems like your only sin then was to love and to care. That's not right. That's not fair." "What can I say?" she said. "Never underestimate the power of DNA." And she winced again. And George said, "I'm leaving. I've seen enough. I'm getting out of here." And as he had pondered what he had just seen, his path suddenly stopped and revealed a ravine. "Oh no, must I turn back?" thought the ape as he surveyed the crevasse. Grab hold of the rope, soldier, we'll pull you past. Hey, who's there? Cried George. And out of the bile came a group of men walking single file. And they were all disfigured and limping and ragtagged and bandaged. And they were all holding a rope by whatever means they could manage. Grab hold of the rope, soldier. You'll see what I mean. The few and the proud, they can get you past this ravine. Pardon me, said the chimp, for seeming rude, but that rope doesn't seem to be doing you guys much good. And he looked up ahead, and beyond the first man, he noticed that the rope hovered by itself over the land. Hey, he said, there's no leader. Who are you trying to kid? This jarhead has too many holes in his lid. And then, as he spoke, his foot slipped, and his paw accidentally touched the hemp. And then suddenly, standing in that empty spot, was a glorious chimp. He was all muscle and hair, and he had a jaw like a bucket. Oh, whatever I was going to do, said George, I'm going to chuck it and follow this simian saint. He's all I admire. He's the M what I ain't. And off they marched. But as soon as they started going, George's little tail got wrapped up in a bush, and he came caught in a branch. Wait, he cried, but stop they would not, till George's grip pulled loose, and he watched as the men goose-stepped off the crevasse and down into what looked like peanut butter, but oh, the smell. That wasn't peanut butter. Those weren't peanuts, goddammit. George's spirits by this time fell deeper and deeper. He longed for his mother's hairy hand. He closed his little peepers. Oh, please, he said. Let this nightmare end, and I promise I'll be good. And when he opened his eyes, there stood a woman of such perfection, George did concur. Why, if I would have known she was going to be here, I'd have combed my fur. Well, hello there, said our charming chimp champ. What could have brought a Victorian secret like you to such a dismal camp? Well, like she said, I enjoy the molten lakes, and I'm a summer. And George said, well, I'm a primate for all seasons, if that's what it takes. And as he spoke, a tiny surfer shot through a huge wave in her coif, and she reached for the little Adonis, but he was through her pipeline and off. Oh, pooh, I missed another, she guffawed. And with that, she took a manicured claw and ripped out a perfect cheek with her hooks and began to eat her face, gorging herself and growing fat on her good looks. Now, as she consumed her beauty, George saw that she exposed a peep show in the back of her cranium where, beholden lo, George witnessed endorsements for various beauty aids and fashion tips, how to add to the face, how to take off the hips. Oh, thought George, this is a commercial. I'll just wait for the show to begin. I hope it's the Love Boat. Even for TV, that was a sin and should be down here somewhere. But as he watched, it became more and more apparent that there was no substance. There was no main attraction. There was just newfangled fads. Hey, where's the attraction? Where's the attraction? Shouted the fur-bearing fella. That does it. I'm out of here. Doobie surf, doobie chow, Bella. I'm through. I'm leaving hell. This fun was over long ago, and these rags are getting stale. Hey, you! He cried to a man on a perch. Me? Said the man. Yeah, you! Can you tell me a way out of here? Well, said the old man, hold me down and call me Ruth. Your words are like black pepper in my nose of truth. It's been so long since I have spoke. My thoughts have been stagnant, and now the dam is broke. Are we bonding? Yeah, said George. Now, can you tell me a way out from that shell? Oh, you like it, said the man. I built it myself. It's entirely made out of self-respect, but I'm afraid it's all but collapsed due to neglect. Oh, you should have seen the other tower next to it. It was called the Pillars of Society, but over the time, those damn children have taken all those bricks away. And all that's left is for me to remain until this tower cannot sustain my weight, and then I'll come crashing down. Well, said George, why don't you just build a ladder and climb down? Oh, no, said the man. For what it's worth, I've been up here so long, I've lost touch with the earth. Hey, wait a minute, said George. I recognize you. Have we met? Well, could be, said the man. I forget, but now that you mention it, I'm starting to see that your face rings a bell that once tolled for me. That's it, said George. That's it. That's it, I can tell. You're not just any old man, and this isn't hell. There he is! It was Scott! There he is! And there was Trixie right next to him. Scott was saying, get him, sick him, Trixie, sick him! And from that meek little cataract pet came 3 giant heads, vicious teeth, and putrid breath. Said George as he bolted for the door, but with lightning speed, Trixie blocked his path. Oh, please, don't, said George. I beg of you, don't. Let me go. And he thought his number was up until in a blur, and behind his heels, fangs and fur. Fast as he could, fast through the past, into the room with mechanical chaps. He took Jack Ruby's slippers and gave them 3 taps. I want to be home, I don't want to be dead. And as Trixie bit down, George awoke in his bed with his mother standing there. Sweetheart, you bumped your head, and she pulled him tight to her breast. And his sister was there, and his brother too, and there was that familiar man in the doorway, the one he never knew. And there was George home. And wasn't he clever? There was his family, more familiar than ever. Oh, George, said his mother, why do you go? You know how that hurts. You know how it hurts so. And George said, yes, but mother, I'm a chimp who can't say no. I'm in a terrible fix. I always say, come on, let's go. Just when I ought to say nix. When a person tries to kiss a chimp, I know I ought to give his face a whack. But when a person tries to kiss me, I somehow, sorta, wanna kiss 'em back. I'm just a fool when the lights are low. I can't be prissy or quaint. How can I be what I ain't? I can't say.
We're born of the river. We're born of that ever-changing, never-changing muddy water. I said we're all born of the river. We're born of that ever-changing, never-changing muddy water. Oh, look, it's Old Man River. See the Old Man River? It's Old Snake Man River. Watch them wriggle on down. Watch them wriggle on down. Past the...
Cross.
Past the...
Sand.
Past the...
Red Stick.
All the way down to Crescent Town. That's New Orleans. My Old Man River. Watch him wriggle on down. Listen, listen. Hear him hissing. His tongue is lapping at the salty sea like a kitty at a dish. Like a kitty at a dish. Watch him wriggle on down past the greasy city and the little country town. Large boat Bobby is a happy river man, standing at the helm with the wheel in his hand. He's coming from Mill City with a tub of beans. He's gonna ride the Snake Man River all the way to New Orleans. That's right. Barge boat Bobby can read the channel deep by the light of the moon while the world is fast asleep. On the back of Snake Man River, he knows which way to go. Gonna get the tub of beans to the Gulf of Mexico. Adios, Bobby. Barge boat Bobby, his hands fall off the wheel. The river's snaky back he no longer can feel. Dreaming faces smile and dreaming faces grin, but asleep at the wheel, boy.
That's original sin.
That's original sin. Adios, Bobby. Que la vaya bien, boy. Bobby let the river navigate. And the catfish ain't hungry because Bobby they done ate. Funny things happen on the river highway, and they haven't found his body yet. Not even today. B-O-B-B-Y, you're a good boy, oh my. B-O-B-B-Y, you'll go to heaven when you die. But nobody has a dream, and in this dream he swallowed up the diamond catfish. Swallowed up the diamond catfish. 3 days, 3 nights, 3 nights. The diamond catfish, what do you see? The diamond catfish, what do you see? The diamond catfish, what do you see?
I don't know, it's purgatory.
I'm stuck in the middle with you. I'm stuck in the middle with you. Scary. help out when there's things are all about Bobby. But they say this Bobby's a bad mother.
Hey, watch your mouth. You're talking about Bobby.
Oh, the bargeboat Bobby? Well, I suppose a person of your particular stature could dig him.
Hey, say it, don't spray it, Alfie.
Oh, Alfie, I remember you do whatever I say, bounces off of me and sticks a twat.
All right, you're the most handsome guy I've ever seen, boy. Oh, you're the nicest person, boy. You sure are friendly.
Wait. You be rubber and I'll be glue, okay?
Okay, I'm the stupidest person in this room, and that's saying a lot. I know some people here, boy.
Oh, this gives me blood boiling. Come here.
I'm really scared. Nope, not a bit. Nope.
Oh my God, Mommy, I think I'm tapping. All right, go, Bobby. I have a door. Knocking at the gate. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
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 Don't blast it, but 1, 2, 3, 4. M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. We're up the stream of consciousness without a paddle. Up the stream of consciousness without a paddle. Dogfish, catfish, dog.
Paddywhack is the dog border. Paddywhack is the dog border. Down syndrome, upchuck, stay free. Achilles heel, sin heart, the Tom spot.
Day to night, from the darkness to the light. I have a little story to tell, and I promise I won't yell. You see, I'm a rich man in hell. I have the briquettes, I have the grill, I have the charcoal, I have the deck, but I don't know what to eat. I mean, what's my meat? If I cook beef, would I be filled with grief? I mean, if I cook some pork, would you call me a dork? Oh, I'm a rich man in hell. I'm a rich man, in hell. So, what's my wish? So, I know, I'm gonna eat me some fish. I'm gonna catch me the catfish in the bottom of the river. I'm gonna catch me big old wily stink itchy catfish in the bottom of the river. How, you may ask? Como, Perry Como, how? I got myself 2 pounds of pork liver. I'm gonna catch me that catfish in the bottom of the river. You fill a mason jar with water pure, add the liver in a garden hose, and set that sucker in the sun to cure. Water, liver in a garden hose, you set it in the sun till it does a stink dance on your old nose. What are we talking here? Stink bait! The stink bait aroma. Old kitty cat can't resist. Nice kitty, see Spot come, see Puff come. Nice little kitty, and he'll persist. Got him on my line, got him on my pan. It's a kitty cat catfish metamorphosis.
You chased away the boy in me, and now you hate the man. You chased away the boy in me, and now you hate the man. Your intentions were as false as the essence of your tan. You found me on your porch, a basket cased with chips. You took me in the house and joined me at the hips. And now I can't resist you, and now I can't resist you, and now I must persist you. You opened my eyes, but you poked in your finger. You opened my eyes, but you poked in your finger. You opened my eyes, but you poked in your finger. I know that you are bad for me. I know that you are bad for me. I know that you are bad for me, but I'm not in junior high. You chased away the
Sun
in me, and now you hate the
river.
You chased away the
Stink
in
bait.
me, and now you hate the
Hose.
You opened mine
Pork.
and poked in your
Stink bait.
You opened mine
Hose.
and poked in your
Water.
I know that you are
Pork.
for me. I know that you
Stink
are
bait.
for me. I know that you are
Stink
for
bait.
me. I know that you are
Stink
for
bait.
me. I know that you are for me.
Catfish.
I know that you are for me. I know that you are for me, but I'm not in junior high.
Peanuts, goddammit! Peanuts!
God damn it!
Peanuts!
God damn it!
Peanuts! hair down for once. Bare our chests. Tell the truth. Absolute. It was scary. It was real scary. There was no ice beer. There were no big-boned women. There was no sports talk. Oh, baby, there was no barbecue. Let me tell you something. Barbecue. God's gift to man. If you've got something you want to put on the grill, this can go on top. It has flavor. It has aroma. It has a kick. Dr. Buzz's Pick and Ambrosia. Opens the sinuses, straightens the back, makes the sleeping come away, and look for love. Yes. So I say, thanks, Robert. Thanks, but no thanks. Thanks. Thanks for sharing. Okay. I get it while they're hot. Yes. I have something you want. I have something you need. With you. Huzzah! Step right up. Up close. I have reaped the eighth wonder of the world. What men dream of, what women long for. The rare, the precious, the completely unique. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to present... the innocent man.
Hello. Don't be afraid. I'm not. Are you new here? I said, are you new here? I'm not. This is my home. I was born here, and I'll die here, and I've been here every day of my life. This is where I live. So what makes me so hideous? Why do I send lizards up and down your spine? I eat, sleep, drink just like you or me. Why am I so terrible? I read. That's right, I read. Every day this paper in my cage, every day this paper's changed, and every day this paper's read, like the drip, drop, drip on a bald man's head. I said, like the drip, drop, drip on a bald man's head. Every day this paper's read, so I'm not stupid. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not stupid. I know about Bumstead and I know about Bush. And something concerns me very much, something that I'm sure you're all aware of, something that's been going on in the paper, and it has to do with Dagwood getting 2 weeks off from Mr. Dithers, that snake, that slave-driving Mr. Dithers, finally gave Dagwood 2 weeks off. And I thought, what might Dagwood do? That's too long to lay on the couch or eat huge red meat sandwiches or not do the windows. What might you do, Dagwood? So I started looking through the paper, and I started digging through till I came to the travel and leisure section. And sure enough, there was a boat going down the Baja coast, down to Port of Ireland. I think, well, that would make a lovely trip for Dagwood, going down the Baja coast. The Baja coast, ding, that rings a bell, ding, that rings a bell. The Baja coast, isn't that where the Love Boat goes? So I checked over in the TV section, and sure enough, the boat was going down the Baja coast to Port of Ireland. And I thought, all right, Dagwood on the Love Boat, what a perfect match, what a perfect match. And so I read in there, and sure enough, a man was going on the boat, and he was going to have a romantic adventure. All right, Dagwood, way to go. And I thought, all right, what's this with a brunette? Well, Blondie isn't brunette, she's blonde. That's why they call her Blondie, not Brunetti. What's going on here, Dagwood? So I checked over, everyone knows he's a Taurus. So I looked in the horoscope section, I said, oh yeah, there he is, a Taurus. There he is, romantic adventure. Stay away from water, stay away from water. What are you doing over here in the Love Boat, Dagwood? What are you doing over the Love Boat when you should be staying away from water? Oh, I get it now. You're leaving Blondie home all by herself, all by her lonesome with that steak. Herb Woodley right next door, he's already got half of Dagwood's tools. He's not going to think twice about moving in on Blondie. And there she's going to be with the same girlish figure she's had for 30 years. Herb Woodley's going to be over any minute. All I've got to say is who, what, when, where, who, what, when, where, who, what, when, where, who, what, when, where, who. I've seen Herb Woodley with the devil.
Who,
I've seen Sergeant Snorkel with the devil. I've seen Mary Worth with the devil. I've seen Judge Parker with the devil. I've seen Linus with the devil. I've seen Kathy with the devil several times. I've seen Snoopy with the devil. I've seen Rusty with the devil. I've seen Mark Trio with the devil, and all I've got to say is did-it-did-it.
Don't go dangling.
Did-it-did-it.
Don't go dangling.
Did-it-did-it.
Don't go dangling.
Did-it-did-it. 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 Oh, there.
And am I born to die, to lay this body down, and must my trembling spirit fly into a world unknown, and must my trembling spirit fly into a world unknown.
We were in St. Louis at a party. The kitchen was full of cut-out Quaker Oats men. The music was playing rhythm and blues. And the young girl said, "You dance pretty good for old guys." Mad Donald, who had just turned 30, said, "Louder, faster, I'll prove you right." And measuring the night with Southern comfort, he danced until the sweat rolled. And even though we stole honeysuckle kisses from those young girls, at 4 a.m. we were still standing in the alley, writing our names on the wall in time to some black angel whose wings beat Delta blues time. Dawn. It's Buddha's birthday. It's Good Friday. Donald says it's a day to conjure a novel from a fast drive through the heart of the Midwest. So we got in the car, went past the big arch, into the limbo of East St. Louis. Mad Donald says, "Let's start the day with a little something." And he stops at Mitch's liquor store. Mitch's. One long aisle and 2 chain-link fences. And behind that, the bottles, with pretty good stuff up on top. And as you go down the shelves, the bottles get bigger and the price gets smaller. And I say, "Donald, I'm buying anything you want. Name it." But he's been to the bottom of the well so many times that his hand gravitates down to $2 a quart automatically. We crack the cap and he raises the paper bag to his lips. He's like a saint taking communion, bliss and remembrance. I take a swig and it's like cough syrup. It goes down hard, burning, and when it gets to the bottom, it turns around and starts to come up again. We get in the car, we put in a cassette. We crank up a soundtrack for a slow-mo journey past Illinois. Winter's been wearing a shabby coat, all black dirt and vacant blue sky, but now the fields are empty and waiting for the green, and the earth as it turns towards the sun. It is the first really warm day of spring. We can feel the warmth coming up. And we pass all those gas stations with postcard pasts. We pass the railroad tracks that start at one vanishing point and go to the other vanishing point without a single curve. We pass the steeples and the grain elevators marking the dominion of church and state. And we roar long and hard, and we sing the praises of the river. We sing the frog song. We sing the catfish song. We sing the rise and fall of the waves and the passing of the toes. In Normal, we stop at a red light. Mad Donald, he sees a postwoman in short shorts walk by, and he barks at her out the window, at her hard, muscled legs. He rolls over on his back like the dog he is, and he says, "Scratch my belly, scratch my belly." I say to her, "Don't mind him. But I've got a question. Where's the real coffee? Where's the black Java?
Where's the stuff where you don't see the bottom of the cup, and when you drink it, your tongue sings the praise of all-night drives and bitter water? She looks at us and she says, "Not here, boys, not here," and waves us back to the highway. For 12 years, Donald and I have been working the river towns. A job here, a job there, and then long drives in search of Eden. And now at 3 a.m., at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, on a tangent out of normal, one of us is reading scripture to the other. "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." He says, "We need a sign." At 32,000 feet, 2 jets cross in stainless steel isolation, leaving behind white contrails, a huge cross in a blue sky, 12 miles long. And he looks and says, "It's coincidence." He says, "Jesus died for somebody's sins, but not mine." I says, "Patti Smith says that." He says, "Coincidence." He turns on the radio, and it's Peggy Lee. She's singing, "Is that all there is? If that's all there is, my friend, let's break out the booze. Let's keep dancing." In the perpetual twilight of a Chicago bar, I'm sitting, and the wheel is still in my hands. I can feel my grip on it, and the roadway passing by even now at better than a mile a minute. Next to me, the old doppelganger, he's reading palms. He doesn't read the future, he reads the past. He says, "We have lived a good life. It's bred in the bone, it's bred in the blood, it's learned by rote and habit." And I sit and remember how in St. Louis we had walked the neat rows of graves, looking for the name of a man we'd once worked with. A man killed by some disease far too early. And I had said to Mad Donald, "What do you think he would be doing if he were alive?" He scattered purple flowering crabs across the headstone. He said, "What would we be doing if we were alive? In the morning, we're going to get up and do it again. We're going to get up, and we're going to conjure us a novel from the heart of the Midwest."
Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. Au contraire. Brothers and sisters, there's a darkness settling over this world. There's a darkness settling over this world, and it's no longer that kind of Doris Daylight attitude that's going to lift this darkness. No siree, babaroo. It's no longer turn on a little incandescent, away goes the darkness. Turn on a little incandescent, away goes the darkness. It's no longer rely on Mr. Power Plant, away goes the darkness. No siree, babaroo. The future is ours to see, brothers and sisters. And you know why? Because I sense something that's happening right here, right now, brothers and sisters. I sense that each side, inside each and every one of you, inside each and every one of you, is the power to drive away that darkness. Little Promethei, you're the forethinkers. You've got the power to step across the line, brothers and sisters. You've got the power to go across the limb to take what you call in the business of risk. That's right. You know what the power is? Where it lies right here. Deep inside each and every one of our chests is a big bass drum from a circus band, and it's beating out oh so proud and so grand, a big bass drum. Over yonder, Dr. Buzz, in that big King Kong monkey man chest. And that big King Kong monkey man chest beats a bass drum. Let me hear it, Dr. Buzz.
Bum-da-da-bum-da-da-bum.
Oh, syncopation at its finest. Look over yonder, and little Spirit Kevin, inside this scrawny little chest is a big bass drum. Spirit Kevin, if your bass drum is pounding, let's spank that gwing-gwing horn. Yeah, big bass drum. And it drives you ahead, this bass drum. Thank you, Spirit. This bass drum will drive you ahead and makes you step across the line and march ahead and go out on the limb and take a risk. Big bass drum. Brothers and sisters, I read something today in my book coming down here tonight. I read something in the book and it made my little drum stop for 1 second. Now, it wasn't a whole note rest. It wasn't a half note rest. It wasn't a quarter. It wasn't an eighth. It wasn't a 16th. It wasn't a 32nd. It was more like a... Yeah. And this is what I read, brothers and sisters, to make my drums stop. They have hands that touch not, eyes that see not, ears that hear not, mouths that sing not, feet that dance not, horns that play not, and jazz that is not bad.
Say it is not so.
Brothers and sisters, you know what I call this kind of person? Who won't even let their bass drum pound, who will refuse to step across the line and say bye-bye darkness. I call them crab and Nicodemus in the gum-gum tree. I said crab and Nicodemus in the gum-gum tree. See, brothers and sisters, we all know what crab is. Let's have a little crabby sound. Oh, crabby. You know what crabby is, brothers and sisters? Crabby is you finally fall in love. L-O-V-E. It spells it so completely. L-O-V-E. And I don't care if it's a man, man. I don't care if it's a woman, woman, a man, woman, woman, man. I don't care. L-O-V-E. It spells it so completely. And you finally made that arrangement. And that special someone, that L-O-V-E person, is coming over to your little apartment. Coming over to your little apartment. Woo-hoo! And you're fixing up a good old snack. You got yourself about 15 pounds of crawdaddy-os. 15 pounds of crawdads. And in your refrigerator, you got about 6 or 7 bottles of Tahitian street wine cooler. You're all ready for that L-O-V-E. The whole weekend, and then the telephone rings. And it's a friend of yours from college or the university. And he did save your life once, that's true. And he says, excuse me, but I'm coming out to New York for a little time. I was wondering, I'm doing this little performance thing, and I was wondering if I could sleep on your floor that same weekend. Now that's crabby. But that's not crabby, Nicodemus in the gum-gum tree. Thank you, Spirit Cat. You see, brothers and sisters, when your drum gets a pounding and you say, yes, sir, rebound, I'm going to step across that line. I'm going to go out on the limb. I'm going to take an R-I-S-K. That's a risk. It's kind of like the happy farmer. The happy farmer, but that's another story. The happy farmer, he goes out and he throws the seed way up high where the birdies do fly. He throws it way up high where the birdies do fly, and that seed, that step across the line, it comes down to the ground. And when you step across that line, that seed comes down, and sometimes it lands in the rocks, and nothing happens. But at least you stepped across that line. And like the happy farmer, he throws the seed way up high where the birdies do fly, way up high where the birdies do fly. And you step across that line, you go to that limb, and that seed comes down, and it lands over yonder by the crabby, sticky, itch weed. And that little seed starts going, you step across the line, and something starts happening. Pretty soon the crabby, sticky, itch weed shuts it on down. At least you stepped across the line. You took that risk. Or it's like the happy farmer, he throws it way up high where the birdies do fly. It comes on down, and steps across the line, and you go on that limb, and it comes down, and it lands in the soil, and it bears fruit, and it grows strong. R-I-S-K, step across the line, big bass drum. You see, brothers and sisters, this whole world, we ride on this big old world, this whole world that spins round and round, and this whole world just stepped across the line from 1989 into 1990. I don't know where the time does go. From 89 to 90, we stepped across the line on this big old world, and we were stepping across that line when this world was going. The big bass drums were beating all over this world. You can hear them over there in Eastern Europe. You can hear them down in South Africa. You can hear them here, right here in the United States of America. And I'm sure if you listen hard enough, you can hear them right here in New York City. You see, brothers and sisters, it's our time to join the parade, to listen to our bass drums and step across the line. It's our duty. You know what, brothers and sisters? I got eyes that can see. I got ears that can hear. And there's a little problem here tonight. You see, brothers and sisters, amongst us right now, there's a crab in Nicodemus in the gum-gum tree. Someone who is doubting their bass drum. And there he sits right yonder. Brother, would you join us, please, here on stage? Yeah, come on. Let's give the Spirit a hand. Come on. Hello, Spirit. What's your name, Spirit? Paul. Spirit Paul. I've been watching Spirit Paul through this whole show here, and his big bass drum hasn't been beating all night long. We got ourselves a crab, Nicodemus in the gum-gum tree. Spirit Paul, let's give Spirit Paul another hand. Come on, come on. Did you hear that clapping for you? All right, his bass drum's starting to go. He's got ears that can hear now, brothers and sisters. Spirit Paul, how many fingers am I holding up? 10. Very good. His eyes are seeing. His bass drum's kicking in a little bit better. Spirit Paul, spank your hands one time. Let's go. 1. Spank it 2 times. Come on, can you do 3 times? On the leg. All right, Spirit Paul, his hands can touch. Now, Spirit Paul, can you do it with your hands? Come on, now hop up and down like you got teeth. Hop up and down like you got teeth. Come on, yeah, all right, big bass drum. All right, yeah. But I sense that he's a crab in Nicodemus. His drum's going now. Woo, woo. His drum is beating now, but he's gonna let it go. When he goes back in that seat, he's gonna turn back into crab in Nicodemus. So I'm gonna give you a little reminder, Spirit Paul. A little kickstart with that big bass drum. Spirit Paul, this will last with you for about a week. And every morning you wake up and your bass drum isn't going, smell your pillow, smell your man, woman, man, whatever, this is sticking to you. It'll kickstart your bass drum. Spirit Paul, take and sniff and bang that drum and make a big big hand. Who needs a kickstart? Yeah, this man needs a kickstart. Yes, sir, Babaroo, this man needs a kickstart. Yeah, she doesn't need no kickstart. You two get things blow up in you. Okay, brothers and sisters, all I have to say from here on is step across the line, pound your big bass drum, make a big, big noise. And if you have any question, any doubt about your bass drum, just take a whiff of Brother Paul over there on your way out. Thank you very much, and good night.
You know, it wasn't always like this. Oh no. I started with the Circus Paradiso, working the crowd. I had to tongue the silver, the coins, and glue from the pockets. Yeah, pretty soon I had a sideshow and then another. Had a whole mess of them. Anything you can imagine. Sword swallowers, fire eaters, albino hippopotami. Oh, I had a mermaid with a harp. Yeah, it was a canvas enchantment. I never promised Shakespeare. Oh yeah, it was free admission to get in. You had to pay to get out. I was young, I was handsome, I was the man I was destined to be. And then I heard the sirens call.
Come and get it. Come and get it. Come and get it. Whoa, look out, here we go. Come and get it. Come on, the table's all set. Come on, the table's all laid. Come and get it. Come on, y'all, come and get it. All ready to go. Come and get it. Come on. Whoa.
I know what you want. You want to see the world. I'll show you the world. I'll take you uptown. I'll take you downtown. Take you all around town. Show you things make your hair stand on end. Make your eyeballs roll in their sockets. Oh, now come on here. Let me help you. Hey, listen. Just hold this for me for a while. Okay? You know, there'll come a day when you're going to be going down a dead-end street. In a blind alley, you'll hear a sound. Beatrice. Yeah, and when you step into that alley, you're going to meet three men. Catfish breath, bow ties, funny hats. They're going to be playing to the best of their ability, and they'll recognize you. You'll recognize them. You'll want to do the dance. You'll want to step across the line, follow off into the night. They're still going, and so will you. So, I have just one question. My little man, my little Isaac, are you ready to go up the mountain?
Join in, it's lots of fun. Listen, hear their tiny feet chitter-chatter across the bottom of that muddy old river. Oh, listen, hear their tiny little feet chitter-chatter across the bottom of that muddy old river. Oh, they're dancing, yeah, they're dancing and prancing. The little crawfish feet are dancing and prancing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Come on over, baby. Twist and shake it out. Come on over, buddy. It's a crawfish party! It's a crawfish party! It's a crawfish party! Bring them suckers down!
Oh, see the man with the big neck. We have time with the British to fly. Scoop down to the bottom of that muddy old river. He scoops down to the bottom of that muddy old river, this big old net. And, oh, hark, 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 hark. The little crawfish feet stop dancing. Their tiny little crawfish feet stop dancing and prancing. I tried that, yeah!
Come